Okay.
All right, how do I look, Steve?
You look marvelous.
Do I need to comb my hair?
Yeah, like I do. Okay, William. Well, could you give us a description of what differentiates the Wayne Brown Institute relative to advice and support you may have received from other similar organizations?
Well, I think there's a lot of differences with how Wayne Brown is structured and what the mission of Wayne Brown is to really help organizations like ours or others. I think it's first and foremost, mission is really to help entrepreneurs and companies find capital, and I think not all accelerators really understand the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs have and companies have before they talk to investors. And I think that most entrepreneurs are quick to say, how do I get in front of an investor and where's the money? But I think Wayne Brown brings a very unique perspective, which is it's not really about money to start with, it's really about getting ready for money. And there's a lot that goes with that. So if you think about getting ready for the dance, it's how to refine your pitch and how to really distill your business down so that there's sort of a core essence that you want to really talk about and get people excited, and how to make sure that your business opportunity or investment opportunity comes across with passion and with enthusiasm, with vigor. And then also I think to really help an entrepreneur understand where to look for capital. And there's a lot of time that's wasted in the pursuit of investment. And it's a very complicated endeavor, it's very time consuming, there's just a lot of things that are unknown to most that are going down that path. And because of that, it can really waste a lot of time and prevent entrepreneurs from either getting capital altogether or wasting a lot of time with people who are never going to invest and slowing the process down. So I think that probably the greatest single thing that I've noticed about Wayne Brown is a comprehensive network of people that have great experience and willing to help, willing to offer mentoring, advice, and guidance. I think in our case especially, willing to make introductions and to provide credible intros to people that would be good sources of capital. Not being afraid to really say tough things about a business model, which may be you're too early, or you're not ready, or you've got to get rid of this piece of your business, or you need to add a board member, you need to improve your management team. And oftentimes I think others that would help to give you advice may not be able to really see so clearly through your business opportunity to see what's preventing you from really taking the next step and getting capital. So I would say it's a combination thing, and it's pretty comprehensive.
So when Wayne Brown Institute says, at least internally, our focus is on creating venture quality deal flow, what does that mean to the entrepreneur?
Well, I'm not sure that every entrepreneur really understands what that means. And having gone through the process and having applied to the Institute and become affiliated with the organization and the people that are surrounding it, what I know now, of course, is very different than when I started. I think that's always going to be a challenge. And there's a little bit of the adage that an entrepreneur, you never really know what you don't know, right? And it's kind of a dangerous position to be in. But having gone through it, I can tell you what I know now versus what I thought I knew before. And that is, you just need to leave, I think, everything open for change. And you've got to be open for inputs from the market. The Institute was instrumental in making introductions to clients and prospective clients for us, and that feedback was very valuable as we sort of assessed the marketability of our technology. In other words, who would want this and why would they want it? And that oftentimes, I think, is a big driver for investment interest, right? If there are companies that you're making introductions to that are enthusiastic or enthralled with your product or your service, that in turn, I think, parlays into other exciting sort of avenues and aspects for your fundraising. So I think the Institute, sort of back to your question, the Institute is really unique in examining comprehensively, I would say, a business model and a business opportunity to try to figure out, is it a venture-ready deal at all in the first place? Because I would say that probably most entrepreneurs who think they have the next biggest, greatest thing, it's probably a neat idea and it's a neat product or a product extension or an enhancement to somebody else's product, more so than a company that you'd really want to raise money around. And being able to get to that understanding sooner rather than later, I think, is a way to save a lot of time and frustration for the entrepreneur, and obviously protect potential investment for the investment community that's coming in behind it. So making sure that you really do have a venture-ready deal. I think it's a very valuable service for the community because there's a lot more investors out there than there are organizations like Wayne Brown. It's not hard to have a lot of money, and it's not hard to be interested in a deal. I think what is hard is to be able to look sometimes at the diamonds in the rough and say, with the right management or a right board or a change in business model or a change in strategy, wow, we could really take this company in a direction that maybe the CEO or founder hadn't even thought of. And I think that the prospect of that is very exciting, and I think there's a lot of value that brings the organization that's kind of going through the process. And I think it's a difficult role to play for the Institute because it requires a lot of different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds. It requires different people with different sets of experiences that can look at things in a different way. And I think an investment opportunity is really evaluated on the financial merits, and that's a very specific way to look at something. But if you're not looking at it solely through the investment lens, you tend to look at it through the customer lens. You tend to look at it from exits and acquisitions, and you're looking at all these different factors. That's something that really no organization does better than Wayne Brown, and that's one of the big value props that I think they bring the entrepreneurial community. It's something we clearly benefit from.
You've really addressed this last question, I think, already in your other comments, but is there any other way that Wayne Brown Institute provides value to you as an entrepreneur?
I mean, there's, are there ways that Wayne Brown has added value to me or our company as an entrepreneur? I'd say absolutely yes. When I first met Brad and I talked to him, I said, wow, you've got this great network of advisors and mentors in the community and service providers and angel investors and really a phenomenal group of people that have surrounded themselves loosely or tightly with the organization. And the challenge I think that you have with Wayne Brown is how do you connect with those folks in the network on a regular basis, because they're moving around, they're sitting on new boards, they're making new investments in companies. How does Wayne Brown really strive to maintain those great connections and be relevant once somebody's already made an investment and moved on and done something else? And I think that the proposition that I gave Brad was an interesting one at the time is, the more that entrepreneurs like myself can help leverage that network and connect that network and keep that network cohesive and connected to Wayne Brown, I think is a great value add. And I think that that's something that I've contributed a lot of time on the benefit and behalf of Wayne Brown, and conversely, to be able to tap into those resources and to be able to make those connections and to get to know some of those folks in the community has been very beneficial for me.
So connections, social network as well as personal, face-to-face?
Yeah, I would say that there certainly are connections that are both social and are both real and sort of face-to-face. The majority of doing deals and really getting to know people from a sales standpoint or for investment standpoint is largely based on relationships, and it's largely based on how comfortable you are with that person. Is this somebody who can get it over the goal line? And I just think that there's no substitute for the power of some face-to-face interaction and knowledge. So I think that that's clearly the main benefit. Not to say that there aren't other virtual channels to be able to connect other dots. There certainly are. But
so are there things that Wayne Brown should be doing more now to do that, to facilitate those?
I think that Wayne Brown is sitting on a number of really phenomenal assets. And I think the assets lie in the people and lie in the data around what those people are doing. In other words, are they investing? Are they raising money? Are they growing sales of their organization? Are they hiring? Are they looking to hire? And I think that what Utah really needs is to have more successful companies that start through a process very similar to Wayne Brown, attract outside capital, continue to grow revenues, and continue to create jobs in the local community that benefits everybody that is in the community. And I think in order to do that, you can't just make a connection and shake hands and then talk to them 3 years later. You need a way to be able to be relevant to that person, and you need a way for that person to be relevant to you. And I think that social networking is a great way to really think about doing that and keeping in closer ties with where people are. But I think more importantly, as you look very practically, like hiring, for example, how can you leverage this network that Wayne Brown has of entrepreneurs who have successfully exited and those that are moving from one deal to the next, people who may be available to be able to connect with other deals and add a greater level of value and additional resource, probably beyond what's already done today. And I think that with the right investment in technology and the right investment in the right programs at Wayne Brown, there's a whole bunch of additional things that can really be developed that would be beneficial for the entrepreneur.
So now we just created 23 new alumni today, and you as an alumnus of WBI, what do we need to do to help to link these new alumni with the former alumni and the alumni from prior years, as well as the whole network of investors and mentors and everybody who's involved?
Well, it's a tough question trying to really figure out how to keep everybody involved, but a couple of thoughts come to mind. We all get busy once we raise capital. There's a lot of pressure on us to execute and hit milestones and increase value, and I think that as an entrepreneur and as a CEO, we tend to be sort of supremely focused on that. But I do think that there are a lot of stories that other entrepreneurs have and other experiences that are successful alumni coming out of the Institute that could be shared, and we could be looking at similar situations. And we certainly, as a single CEO, don't have all the answers. And I think the Institute's uniquely positioned to be sort of in the middle of those networks, and either through an event, which is a formal, or through communication outbound, or otherwise. I think it would be great to be able to bring some of these other CEOs and management teams together to really look at some tough issues today. And it may not be fundraising, right? It could be hiring, or it could be sales strategy, or it could be marketing strategy. And at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We're all trying to win. And I think if the Institute can really help make sure that these alumni companies are successful after the financing, that would be a whole new opportunity for value add that I don't think has really been explored to its fullest.
Great. I appreciate that.
So hopefully that helps.
All right. Thank you very much.